Hey everyone, Jamie here from Flying Scotsman and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to power up the A320neo from cold and dark and get those engines running in under 5 minutes. Now I know that some of you love the full realistic startup process, but for those who want to get flying without spending 15-20 minutes or longer on checklists, then this is the guide for you. We're going to cover everything you need to get airborne quickly, while still keeping things immersive and semi-authentic. Whether you're new to the A320neo or just looking for a faster way to get in the air, this tutorial will help you skip the fluff and focus on the essentials. And if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what tutorials you'd like to see next. Before we jump in, I would just like to apologise for the mic audio in the video. I'm having some technical issues with my setup at the moment, but I'll have it fixed very soon and the sound quality will be much better in future videos. Alright, so let's get this Airbus ready to fly. So as you can see here, we are at Glasgow Airport. What we'll do is we've got an A320neo from phoenixsimulations.com. I'll send a link in the description down below so you can go on their website and check out the products they have to just further immerse yourself into the simulator. So let's jump into the cockpit. As you can see, we have a cold and dark setup here. So the first thing we have to do is get power into the aircraft. Now there are several ways to do this, but what we're going to do today is just use the external ground power. So you want to select the external ground power here on the overhead panel. Switch on your batteries 1 and 2. Head up and make sure we've already got them aligned here, but make sure your aiders are set to nav. That just basically aligns your navigation aid, your instruments, and allows you to get GPS primary on your displays down below. Now what we want to do next is quickly jump down, make sure our crew oxygen supply is on, so make sure those white lights are illuminated. Come back down, and the next thing we need to do to get the aircraft powered on is get that APU, Auxiliary Power Unit, running. Now to do that we're going to switch on the APU master, but before we do that we need to make sure that all these fuel pumps don't have any white lights on them. When you enter the cockpit, these white lights will probably be illuminated, so we just want to make sure they are all switched off, or lights are switched off prior to moving to the APU. So go to the APU, hit that master switch on, click APU start when it becomes available. Now to check on the status of the APU, you want to go down to your ECAM, select APU on the ECAM display, and that will just start to come alive and indicate what the status of the APU is. So you want to start the APU, and then when the APU started, it will come up here saying available, and that means you're ready to get power into the engines. So whilst we're waiting on the APU starting, what we'll do is we'll jump into our overhead panel and just run through some of the more critical checklist items. So what you want to do is switch your nav lights and your logo lights on 1 and 2. Make sure your wing lights are on, keep your beacon off for now, your strobe off, runway turn off lights, landing lights, taxi lights, everything off at the moment. Switch on your seatbelt signs, your no smoking signs, and then make sure that your emergency exit lights are set to arm so they automatically illuminate if the aircraft does have an emergency. I like to just switch on my overhead integrated lighting just to bring a bit more immersion into the overhead panel, and then you also have the option here to bring your dome floodlights on dim or bright. I like to leave them off. So now that we've got the lighting set up, we can now see that APU is available. So when your APU becomes available, what you want to do is switch your APU bleed on. Now that will drive air from the APU into the engines and give them that essential power they need to start turning. So now that we've done all that, we are ready to start the engines to the aircraft, but there's a couple of things that I just want you to check first before you go through that process. Number one, make sure that your parking brake is set to on. Make sure your thrusts are set to the idle detent. You don't want the engines powering up straight after you switch them on. Landing gear set to down, everything there is okay, and you want to go to your overhead panel now and switch on your beacon light. That will just alert the ground staff that it's now time to start stepping away from the aircraft because the engines are about to be powered on. So now that we're ready to start the engines, you want to come back down to your central panel. Just here below your throttle selector, or your throttle levers rather, you want to switch your engine selector mode to ignition start. When you do that, your engine information will come back onto the cam display here, and you want to throw engine starter number 2. The moment you do that, you'll start to see your N2 ramp up. But you can do the same with engine starter number 1. This obviously isn't the full official process when you're actually setting the aircraft up in full, but for quickness, we're just going to show you how to do that quickly. While we wait on those engines starting up, I'm just going to switch some of my floodlighting up just to bring a bit of a better experience into the cockpit and make sure everything is the way I like it. So as you can see here, your engine end 1s and your engine end 2s and your end 1s are starting to rise. So what we can do here, we can jump outside the aircraft, just take a swing round to the front, and you can see here we are starting to get life into those engines, which is exactly what we wanted. Jump back inside, and when your engines get to around 17-18%, what you'll get here is an available. Once you've got an available, that means we have enough power to the aircraft through at least one of the engines where we can actually go ahead and switch off the auxiliary power unit and the external ground power. So switch off your ground power. That can actually be done when the APU is on. You don't have to leave it until this stage. You can then go ahead, switch your APU bleed off, switch your APU starter off, and your engines will continue to power up. Now, your IR alignment is still shown as 5 minutes, but what I've done on this aircraft is I've disabled the settings within the flypad just to make sure they come alive instantaneously, so you don't have to wait to the 5, 6, 7, sometimes 10 minutes it takes for them to align. Now, I'll quickly just show you how to do that, even though we don't have to do it in this video. So your flypad will be on this screen when you first get started. What you want to do is just head to the top bar, go to the faults page, scroll down, and then just expand your ATA34 navigation faults. These will probably be illuminated yellow, so what you want to do is click on the yellow ones, make sure that failed is set to off, and click apply changes. Now, regardless if only 2 or 1 of them are yellow, it's important that you do these for all of them. If you don't do it for all of them, then your IRs won't align. It will still show on the ECAM that they're in alignment, but you'll get this GPS primary, and once you've got that GPS primary, that essentially means that you're ready to push back and fly the aircraft. So everybody, that's it. Engines running, systems are set, ready for taxi in under 5 minutes. Hopefully this guide helped you to get into the air faster while still giving you that authentic Airbus experience. Like I said before, if you found this useful, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, click subscribe, and let me know in the comments what other tutorials, aircrafts, or any other general aviation flight sim related content you'd like me to cover. And a quick reminder, I'll have this microphone sorted very soon. Thanks for bearing with me while I get it fixed. Your support means a lot. I'll see you in the next video. This is Jamie from the Flying Scot Sim. Skies clear and happy flying. Thank you very much.